How would you diagnose politically how well India has lived up to the aspirations that it had at independence?
I think a lot better than people expected to begin with. In fact, if you look at some of the press coverage, for example, of India in the 50s and 60s in the Western world, they were almost unanimous that this country couldn't possibly hold together, the democracy couldn't last. I remember the London Times reporting on the 1967 elections, very confidently asserting that these were going to be India's last democratic elections. It couldn't possibly continue. And now this sort of thing has turned out to be completely wrong. And democracy has actually been the glue that's held arguably the world's most diverse society together. We're in the G77, the global trade union of developing countries. We're in the G20, the global management of the world economy. You know, we're in the non-aligned movement, reflecting our colonial heritage, railing against the Western imperial powers, and we're in the community of democracies alongside the very countries we've been railing against the non-aligned movement. I mean, this is the extraordinary thing that India represents in the world, and I think the world would be unwise not to use it more. I mean, India can contribute to the management of the global commons, everything from cyberspace to outer space. We have the expertise, the technology, the manpower, the interests, the diplomatic skills. But somehow there has been resistance to changing the Security Council because those who have those powers don't want to see them diluted. Yeah. India is tackling problems. There are enormous challenges that need to be overcome. And amongst them are the challenges that the Chair has laid out. Environmental damage is colossal. We all have to breathe the filthy air that our economic development has subjected us to. And yet, at the same time, it is true that there are 600 million Indians who cannot take for granted what every Irish person can take for granted, that you flick a switch on a wall and your room is flooded with light. We don't have that for large numbers of our people. How can we deny them that opportunity for growth?
Can India save the world? I'm not sure if it can save the world, but I think India's growth is secular in nature. It'll keep growing. And India's growth this time around is going to be led by massive investment in infrastructure, because that's what India needs.
The Zurich Dalkey Book Festival.
With Air.
Global names, local vibe.